Hi folks, today let's talk about the rear bag. This thing right here. Now the purpose of any rear bag is to help us control the position of the rifle and make sure that we have very, very good sight alignment as we're squeezing that trigger. Even under very normal prone shooting positions like I'm here at a nice range, even under those very normal conditions at that target 100 yards away, as I move this rifle and I get my sight alignment, there we go, I got a pretty good sight alignment right here. Notice the gap. The gap between, if you're right on the ground, the gap between the ground and the bottom of the stock, or the bottom of the stock and the surface of this shooting mat right here. Now what you could do is you could just grab this thing somehow or other, maybe grab a hold of your jacket along with it, and you could take a shot. But nothing's stopping you from taking that shot. But when we're talking about precision rifle shooting, it's all about accuracy. Well, it's really all about precision. And I've probably said this 100 times in all my different videos over the years. Consistency equals accuracy. And I won't be very consistent doing something like this as I'm taking my shots, 5 shots, 10 shots, whatever it happens to be. I need something to help improve my consistency. So some folks use a monopod, and I used to use a monopod on my Ruger precision rifle. I could remove this cover right over here, exposing a little chunk of Picatinny, and I could attach that, and I still have it, my B&T monopod right here. It works okay, but I switched to a bag X number of years ago, and I think the bag works better. Now that's the purpose of the rear bag, to control the position of the rifle and aid us in a proper sight alignment and provide consistent, I should say, sight alignment. But some bags are better than others. Well, what makes one bag better than another? Let's take a look at some of the features or characteristics that make a good bag or a great bag. Now I know some folks have told me that they use an old sock, something that they've sewn together themselves, filled with dry rice. Some people say they like to fill it with sand, and they get great results that way. Maybe so. But my concern, especially with the sand, is if that sand, or I suppose also the rice, if it gets wet, it's going to start expanding, it's going to start clumping, and that, I can guarantee you, is not going to provide the type of consistency that we want. And another fella tell me, he just brings out a 25-pound bag of number 8 lead shot, and he uses that as his rear bag. Well, it may work for him. That's okay. You can try that. But I'm going to talk about some other features, what I consider the good characteristics of a good bag. What are we looking for? You know, if you go out to a good sports shop, you'll probably find some rear bags. You can pick them up, you can feel them, get a feel for them. Some are going to be heavy, some are going to be light as a pillow, and you'll notice there are some differences. So what are we looking for? Number one, the most important characteristic as far as I'm concerned is what I call malleability. Malleability. Now notice this bag right here. It's actually rectangular in size. That's great because I can set it up this way for shots more or less level with my rifle, shooting down even. So that works out nice. Or I can set it up this way for those shots a little bit above level, like out here at this shooting range. We're always shooting a little bit up, it seems. But the malleability part of it is this. I place this bag wherever I want it, I am going to end up placing the rifle's stock here, let's say. And as I do that, I'm going to release my hand right now, and what we should see is that this bag retains its shape. Very little springback. We don't want that. We don't want springback in a good bag. We also want stability. And is it stable on its own? Not really. Does that mean that it's an absolutely terrible bag? Well, that's not really what I'm talking about when I'm talking about stability. It's never going to be standing on its own. It's always going to be under this rifle or another rifle, and it's going to be handled by me. My hands, it's going to be maybe a little bit against my shoulder. It's going to have this right over here. So what we mean by stability is that it's not too narrow and that it doesn't allow your rifle to slip. If this were a bag that kind of came to a triangular point, maybe sort of like this, and we're expected to put the rifle, right there, that's not what we want, because it's too easy for that rifle to slip. That's what we mean by stability. Portability. That's nice. That's important. I can use these hand straps that are on this bag if I'm carrying it. There's actually another version of this same bag that comes with a more or less a sling strap that can attach to this rifle, so that as I'm moving around, I can use it or carry it with me very, very easily, and I won't have the worry of losing it. And the last bit is versatility. That's the fourth feature I like to look at, and that is I can use it as it's intended, as my rear bag, but in a pinch, I could carry this with me. Maybe there's a big rock over there, and I'm going to take a shot off of that rock. Or maybe there's a barricade. I can carry this out there, and I'm not going to use my bipod now. I'm going to place this on that rock or on that barricade. So it gives me some nice versatility. Now let me show you my technique. So I'm going to get into position here. And based on the shooting bay that I'm at right now today, I know I'm going to use this in this rectangular fashion, going along the horizontal or the wide part of this bag. And what I like to do is I like to create an interface between my rifle and the bag, and that is like this. Sort of a V-shaped or a U-shape with my hands, and that is going to go here. Right? Going to go right here. This gives me plenty of control of the rifle itself, and it provides an interface between this bag and the rifle itself. Now, why in the world is that important? Here's why it's important. As you take your shots, shot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, this bag, even though it's malleable, has good stability, it's versatile, all these good things, it is going to deform somewhat shot to shot to shot to shot. For me, normally it works out just fine for a 5-shot string. Many more than that, or a lot of higher recoil, like this 300 PRC, I may have to stop, pause, and kind of reform this thing. Well, because this bag's consistency, if you want to call it that, changes shot to shot just a little bit, I don't like that. So what I want to do is I want to place an interface that's not changing. My hands are not changing dramatically shot to shot to shot. So that's what I'm trying to do. It also then allows me actual control of the rifle, and I'm not squeezing the bag in one way or the other to kind of get the rifle to move indirectly. I'm directly controlling it. Well, let me go ahead now and demo this. If you have some questions, suggestions, ideas, maybe you've thought of something or you use something a little bit different than what I'm doing, you might want to put that into the comment section below. Share that information with all of us. I might be able to pick up something new too. There's some times where this old dog can learn a new trick as well. Hey, thank you for watching.